I'm going to spend pretty much 5 or 10 minutes just talking about the initiatives and why they're important to the MEF and what they really mean in practice. And the initiatives are very much the way in which the MEF gets things done on a global basis, on a global level. They're of critical importance because what the MEF manages to do is to bring together all the different people from all the different industries and pull them together under one umbrella and really push forward on bringing forward consensus views on issues that are critically important to the successful development of the mobile entertainment industry. And we currently have 11 initiatives. I'm not going to go through all of them at the moment. We do have more planned, as Patrick mentioned earlier, and I'll go into those slightly later on. But I think the two that I'd like to concentrate certainly in the first instance is the Quality of Experience Initiative, which is led by Zandan and the LCC. We've been doing a considerable amount of work. We released a press release this morning setting out a summary of really the 3 fundamental metrics in terms of content availability, content performance and performance. And this is really going to lead to a piece of consumer research on a global level that is of significant importance to the mobile entertainment industry. The research will cover 7 different mobile entertainment content types. We are likely to get 8,000 responses from consumers across the globe. And it covers everything from the kinds of information that a consumer gets at the point of purchase of their mobile phone. Are they told about how to access mobile content? Are they told how it can be used? Are they told the types of content that's available? To where they find the content, when they're using the content, what their experience is in terms of using that content. Is it a good experience? Is it a bad experience? How does it work? To what happens if they have an inquiry, not necessarily a complaint, but an inquiry. If you have an inquiry about a piece of mobile content that you've purchased on your mobile phone, who do you go to? Do you go to the company that you purchased the content from? If you go there, what are they going to tell you? If you go to the network operator, what will the network operator do with you? Will they be in a position to answer that question? So this is purely a quantitative piece of work that perhaps Kenny might probably talk about in more depth later. And the results of that research will be available, certainly the high-level results will be available in June in time for MEM. The other initiative that we did slightly earlier on this year, we did the mobile search and discovery. And again, this is a sort of growing importance in the mobile entertainment sphere, which is how do consumers actually find mobile entertainment content using the search facility on their mobile phone? How often do they use it? What are they looking for? We did a mixture of member survey and also consumer survey so that we could compare and contrast the results. So we asked, for example, our members how often they thought that consumers looked for content on their mobile phone using the search facility, and sort of consumer, and the MEF members said it was 90%. 90% of consumers looked regularly for mobile content on their mobile phone using the internet search facility. And then we asked the consumers how often they did it, and it was only 20%, which is still quite high actually. But there's obviously a divergence there of reality versus perception, and actually 17% of consumers didn't even realise that they had the search facility on their mobile phone. So it's trying to bring these two worlds together so that we can maximise the potential for growth of the mobile entertainment industry, because the top 5 items that consumers look for are all downloadable, paid-for mobile content. We've already covered off some of the ongoing initiatives. I'm not going to talk about ad-funded mobile entertainment because we've already heard about that. Communities is fundamentally important. Communities is one of the things, one of those areas, particularly about user-generated content, where the regulators are really fascinated by this area. They have no concept of what it means, they have no concept of how it works. They are purely looking at it from a consumer harm point of view. And the European Commission in particular has spent a lot of time looking at the communities types of services. And they have put out 2 consultations earlier, very late last year. We've spent quite a lot of time in the European Commission talking to Viviane Reding and the Cabinet about how these services operate. We're the only trade body that actively says that all chat services that include children, it's perfectly legitimate for children to talk on using chat services, must be fully moderated by humans, which is something that other trade associations do not say, and in fact a lot of companies don't go that far either. So again, we really are driving that forward. We helped draft the framework for safer use of mobile phones for children. That was signed, as Patrick said, I think it was 6th of February, I can't remember exactly when. But that signature ceremony is of critical importance because it means that the mobile entertainment players in Europe have until February of next year to put in place some form of age verification, classification systems in Europe to protect children from potential harms. And a lot of child protection agencies are really, really focused on this. I can't emphasize strongly enough how important the community's initiative is to the MEF and to the industry as a whole. Mobile TV, again, you've already heard about the consensus response on the Television Bhat Frontiers Directive. Not many people understand legislation. Not many companies understand what the legislation means in practice to their companies. So we are going to provide, the MEF is going to provide a handbook explaining the practical implications of the Television Bhat Frontiers Directive in each of the member states where our members are based. Actually, we'll start with England, probably, because that's the easiest one for me. And then we're going to spread out to France, Germany, and Spain, and then really look at Finland as well. So, and really, the reason why that is important is, whilst the initial work that we're doing is within Europe, you've already got the Hong Kong government looking very closely at mobile TV, how it's got to be regulated. We're in fact putting in a response to their consultation. And also other countries such as America looking very closely at mobile TV, its development. We're not so interested in sort of what standard they should apply, but what we are interested in is ensuring that a seamless consumer experience, understanding terms and conditions, understanding how it works, and making sure that the service is successful. Say that word. Regulatory policy. There's a lot going on. I'm often asked actually about whether I spend a lot of my time just dealing with UK work, and the honest answer is I don't. Not at all, in fact. Most of it's European, not UK. But actually we are doing a lot with other countries. The Hong Kong government I've already mentioned. Turkey in particular is currently facing a meltdown, for want of a better word. The telecoms regulators called in the mobile networks and said, if you don't sort out your mobile entertainment services, we will shut you down. And they've come to the Mobile Entertainment Forum as a vehicle for helping them develop safe codes of practice and put in place mechanisms to ensure that the services can operate in Turkey successfully. So we're going to, well, I may be spending some time in Turkey over the next few months. And exactly the same with Brazil. Brazil is potentially really interested in what the Mobile Entertainment Forum has to offer. We've been invited to Brazil, I think it's in May, to help develop their markets in terms of protections, in terms of initiatives, in terms of possibilities of services. And we're beginning to do quite a bit of work on participation TV. Participation TV in the UK has gone slightly wrong. We've been hit by a significant number of scandals recently, which has put a serious dent in the confidence levels of participation TV. It is a remarkably lucrative market in the United States. It's a remarkably lucrative market pretty much everywhere in the world where it takes place. And it could be worth, just in the United States, $3 billion a year. We are putting in place codes of practice. Shortly we'll be consulting with the industry. We'll be bringing together members to ensure that codes of best practice are put in place. We will look to see how we can best serve the industry in the United States in terms of guiding them, providing protocols on what to do, not just in terms of what you should do, but also when things sometimes go wrong, what you should do in that instance. Because one of the things that happened in the UK was where you didn't have somebody calling in, you didn't have enough calls, they made up the caller, which is something you can't really legislate for. It's probably something you just, on a common sense level, you just shouldn't do. But actually sometimes you need to tell people that. So you can put in protocols to help them understand what can go wrong and why it can go wrong and what impact it will have, not just on their business, but actually it has an impact across the mobile entertainment. So that's something we're looking forward to doing this year. Skip that slide, and that's my last slide. In fact, Patrick's pretty much already covered off these. Price and provenance data charges in terms of new initiatives, developing codes of best practice in a number of countries throughout the world, and metadata tagging was already mentioned as something that's critically important as we move forward this year. That's it for me. Thank you.